So there are four things that really are the basis for this game of golf when it comes to playing it, that everyone needs to be able to achieve. Again, not every golf swing's the same. We've talked about them in terms of houses, ranch style houses, colonial style houses, you know, whatever type of house you have that is your body and your style, that's great. But we have to have these foundational things in place in order to hold the house up. Because when you play on the golf course, there's going to be things that will disturb you, you know, for sure. And we're going to be nervous sometimes. It's a lot of fun too, don't get me wrong, but we need to be ready for the things that might make us nervous and be able to perform well, because that's what makes us happy inside. You know, the one thing about this game from a nature standpoint is it is kind of like conquering yourself or conquering your fears in some ways. It's a great game and it's fun, but it's also a way that we can achieve things also, because there's nobody throwing a pitch at you. It's all up to you. Nobody's hitting the ball from the other side of the court. No one's pitching at you. This is all set in motion by you. So we need to get these foundational things in place to be able to put ourselves in the best position to play our best. The first thing we're going to talk about today, in fact today's topic, is going to be the alignment towards your target. This is important, and again, as you learn, I want you to ask the question why. Whenever someone's talking about this game as far as improvement goes, you always need to ask the question why. Alignment towards your target is critical, because if we line up directly at the target and we make a great swing, ball's going to go in the correct place, correct direction, right? Well, if we line up to a position other than your target and we make a great swing, what happens? Ball goes in the wrong place. And now we are required, essentially, to make a bad swing or manufacture some type of swing to be able to get the ball to go where we want it to go. And that's going to cause problems long term, to be lined up incorrectly and then try to make an incorrect swing to make up for it, to make the two wrongs making a right kind of a thing. So lining up towards your target is critical. And these are not beginner things. These are tour player things. These are great player things. Tour players are checking things like their grip and their alignment and their posture frequently, some every day, some periodically, to make sure that they feel comfortable with the correct position, because that's what we're trying to do, is get to the point where the correct position feels very comfortable to you. And if you're in an incorrect position, you'll see tour players do this sometimes too. They'll actually back off a ball. In other words, move away from it to go, oh, okay, well, gee, maybe I'm wrong, and they'll double check things again. So this is not a beginner thing. It is a beginner thing, don't get me wrong, but it's a foundational thing that happens from beginner to tour player. So let's talk about alignment. I've got a ball, and for us today, we're fortunate we've got some light standards in our background, and that's going to help us with alignment. So on the golf course, you could be lining up at a flag or a tree or just an area of grass, but you know, like a fairway, there may not be a specific thing that you're lining up to. It's always good to find something, you know, pretty specific, but you don't necessarily have to have an exact location. Sometimes just the center of the fairway is going to be, you know, your alignment. That's great, but we want to get you as accurate as possible in lining up toward that thing. And the first objective in doing this is to stand behind the golf ball like this. And as we stand behind the golf ball, we're going to just take the light standard in the background, and that's going to become our target. That's our target in the background. It makes it easy for us today. You're going to take a line from the light standard. You're going to take a line from the light standard to the golf ball. So in your mind's eye, that line goes along the grass. There's a little slope there you may or may not be able to see, down the other side of the slope and all the way through to the golf ball. That is known as your target line. Very clever. That's your target line. We're going to use that golf club to illustrate that line. Okay, that's your target line. When we hit a golf ball, what we like to do is to have our body positioned parallel to that point. So we'll have one line for ball and target, and we're going to have another line that's parallel to it that our toes are going to be up against. So one line for ball and target, one line for your stance, and a good visual image of this is railroad tracks. If we had a set of railroad tracks that ran from here all the way through to the target, the ball and the target are going to rest on one side of the tracks, and then your toes are going to be against the other side. So practice this a lot. Take your feet, get yourself lined up, take a look at your ball, take a look at your target. I would always recommend that you start behind the golf ball. Take a look at that target line, and then try to position your body so that your toes are parallel to that line. It's okay when you practice, and I would encourage this as you learn, to put a golf club or two. We also have these things that are known as alignment sticks, but you can use golf clubs. There's alignment sticks, there's golf clubs, what have you, and they're going to help you ingrain this feeling and this positional thing in your mind as you start to learn this game. Will you always need them? Yeah, you will. As you're a beginner, I would do it a lot more often, but even tour players, when they hit golf balls, many of them will actually lay golf clubs all over the ground so that they become comfortable with that correct position again, because we all erode or evolve, sometimes better, sometimes for the worse. Nonetheless, we change. As humans, we change, and as players, we change. So if this is something that's going to bring you back to center, a foundational thing in this game, that you need to be lined up parallel to your target so that when we make golf swings, we're going to be aligned correctly physically. Because what you're going to see as we talk more about body motions in another video, if I'm trying to get the ball to go toward the target, if I'm lined up incorrectly, it's really tough for my body to get around toward the target. And you're going to see that more and more in subsequent videos, that body motions are the basis for good swings. So we need to put your body in the correct position as far as alignment goes to help our body work together towards a good end rather than working against itself, which is going to cause problems in the end. So alignment towards your target. You've got a ball, you've got a target. Those two things create your target line. We want to have our body positioned so that it's parallel to that point, okay? So here we are, railroad tracks all the way through to the target, and that is great alignment.